Archer gameplay is not easy, and that's why out of my more than 1000 days when I was Archer main, I'm going to share all my PvP open field secrets so it will be easier for you to continue playing as an Archer player. And of course I will try my best to share all of my experiences, especially against infantry players, right? Because for Archer mains, infantry is most common target, and in order for you to actually play well and get a lot of merits throughout your carry case, you have to know what you expect from the infantry and how to counter that, right? So at first we have to understand why infantry is so strong and what makes Archer heroes and Archer players think twice until they will make a decision of being Archer main, right? First of all, we have to speak about infantry, the newest infantry heroes, which has a super high counter-attack damage, right? And that's the reason why all the Archer players are saying that their heroes are weak, they are losing HP super fast, and you know, whenever you are losing HP, you are not dealing full damage. Basically, that's the reason why infantry have been so strong, and especially after the G5 heroes, you can see counter-attack damage increase, more damage from counter-attack damage bonus 20%. From the Elanir, we still have more counter-attack damage towards the opponents, right? And in general, counter-attack damage is the same as normal attack damage, just whenever you are getting hit, your opponents are taking damage. And of course, that's the weakest part for the Archer gameplay, because we have a low range. Most of the time, like 90% of the time during the war gameplay, we have to hit infantry, right? And in this game, we already have amazing hero pairs such as Goresh and Skogul, we have Uma and Lake One, and we already have Joran and Elanir, right? And the progression of infantry heroes says a lot of things. They all deal a lot of damage to back towards you in terms of counter-attack damage. They have high march speed, which means they will be for sure able to catch you as an Archer player. So in order for you to actually utilize all the benefits of Archer gameplay and understand what makes infantry best, you can build your hero pairs in a way that there will be a perfect counter towards infantry gameplay. But for that, we will have to do a lot of things, right? And I will try my best to share all the secrets which I gathered throughout my 1k days of gameplay. So basically, infantry is not only just strong because it deals a lot of counter-attack damage or it has a lot of survivability, right? There is also one huge and important topic which we have to mention when we are speaking about the strengths of infantry, right? And that's of course goes towards artifacts. There are a couple of artifacts in Call of Dragons which makes infantry gameplay way more accessible and way more easy, right? And some of them you already know, like Spiritbone Torque, Shield of Stubbornness. They are basically generic artifacts for infantry, right? One of them is taunting, another one is throwing your opponents away. We have Deathless Wines also for some immobilization, especially amazing against archers, right? Because you will basically be stunned. But there is a multiple artifacts, legendary artifacts in this game, which are super amazing, and such as Storm Arrows, right? You might say Cavalry unit attack, Legion attack, basically you don't need to have offensive attributes for your infantry, but the blink feature which you are seeing here, this is the main topic, right? Basically, infantry doesn't even have to come closer to you or catch you. They can just blink on top of your march, especially if you are using 5 marches. One infantry player can basically destroy your 5 archer hero pairs by just one blink skill. So, what we know so far, right? Infantry deals a lot of damage from the counter-attack. Infantry is really tanky, they have higher march speed, and they also can simply use storm arrows or blink artifacts in general, and they will be near you all the time, especially if your opponent has multiple infantry mains with these storm arrows. Sometimes it becomes really impossible to actually do anything regarding these couple of features of infantry gameplay, right? But of course I will try my best to give you the secrets. First of all, first problem, right? Infantry has higher march speed than archers. How we are going to fix that problem? And solution is pretty simple, right? We know that primary heroes matter in terms of talents, and my decision was that every single hero, legendary archer hero which I will have, they will have at least 3 maxed out march speed talents, right? For example, for Margaret, you can see I have marksman speed on level 5, on precision I have overall speed of level 5, and here of course overall speed again. I know whenever you are choosing the march speed talents, you are basically saying that I will have less damage but more march speed. So that's the decision which you have to make. You prefer to stay alive longer to deal damage to more opponents, or you will try your best to do a lot of damage in a one go and that's it, right? I chose the decision of going towards the march speed. Sometimes I even go and try to get march speed mana stone, and it not only stops with Margaret, right? On every single primary hero which I have, I'm going all in on my march speed. Like for example on Ruby, marksman speed is level 5, overall speed is level 5, and same goes for here, right? I'm gonna check more heroes which is a primary. Even here I tried my best to get march speed as much as possible, because I used Inara with Musiang, they don't have march speed bonuses. That's why I even went for the overall speed towards the PvP talent tree, and trust me, it helps a lot. It helps a lot whenever your archer heroes are faster than they used to be. Of course, you can always go for the more damaging builds, which will of course deal more damage, but one blink, one infantry can basically ruin your gameplay from the first second. So I always try my best to play as a defensive style if I want to get a lot of merits as an archer player. Last KVK I got 36 million merits by being only archer. This season it's been a really weak season in terms of activity. We already got 12 million merits, but hopefully we will get even more, right? And yeah, you can see I'm trying to get as much march speed as possible from the talents of the legendary heroes, right? So basically that's like first solution of infantries being faster than you. You're just gonna decrease your damage a little bit and you're gonna increase your march speed by a lot. It will give you a lot of survivability, lot more merits, which is quite strange, right? Lower damage, more survivability equals more merits. That's my experience by playing this game for more than 1000 days. So we already solved one problem. The higher march speed of infantry players can be solved by talents of archer players, talents of archer legendary heroes just push for more march speed. Now, of course, we have a second problem and second solution, right? Second problem is infantry having a lot of counterattack damage, especially Joran and Elan, right? And that's a pretty big problem, because whenever you are losing HP on your marches, you are not dealing full damage, and lower troop count you will have on your army, lower damage you are going to deal. So it's always better to have higher troop count in the open field PvP, because you're gonna deal more damage and you will get more merits at the end of the day. So what would be the fix for the too much counterattack damage from the infantry players? Basically, my solution have been healing, right? And I have been saying this for maybe more than 1 year. You can see I'm trying my best to get healing, as much healing as possible on my marches, right? Inara and Musiang is really good, because Musiang has a AoE heal, which means she will be able to heal herself and 3 surrounding friendly legions. Not only even that, if you're gonna check the talents of the precision hero pairs for archer gameplay, you will understand that there is a one cool talent skill which is called dedication, which is giving us 150 healing and it has a 10% chance, but trust me, you are going to proc dedication a lot, right? I got dedication here, I got dedication here. Basically, on every single precision legendary archer hero, I went for the dedication because it actually matters. Healing actually matters, and of course, in this game we have a two different kind of healing. One type is variable healing, which is the more units you defeat and the higher their level, the higher your healing rate. This is variable healing. The Musyang's healing and in general all the other types of healing is just basically a simple straight up healing, right? That's the reason why I went for Invisentara for many KVKs, because of their heals and buffs, and in general, as much healing you are going to have on your archer legendary heroes, less effective infantry's counterattack damage will be. So that's second solution to the second problem for the anti-infantry gameplay. You have to have some healing. Not only in terms of your legendary heroes, and if they have healing themselves, there is a many more and different ways how you can actually get healing in Call of Dragons, right? And the second one and third one is of course Warpits. In your Warped section as an archer player, you will be able to get Advanced Chain Strike, which is one of the best skills archer warpeds have in the game, right? It has a variable healing, which means more units you are going to defeat, more heals you are going to get. Also, yeah, not only on Shadow Manticore, even on Snow Peak Rock, I have Advanced Chain Strike. Even on Barbed Manticore, I have Advanced Chain Strike. And of course, as soon as I will get my third Yggdra Crystal, I will put Advanced Chain Strike on Wind Whistle. Basically, if you play this game as an archer main without Advanced Chain Strike, you have been missing a lot. And plus, not only the survivability, but also you have to understand that healing gives you more merits. Healing in Call of Dragon gives merits. That's the update which we had like 1 year ago, and from that moment I started investing all of my currencies and resources towards getting as much healing as possible for my archer gameplay. Basically, that's the key. That's the key of you getting a lot of counterattack damage. That's the key of you having too much troops, too good amount of troop count during the open field PvP. And also, healing has one weakness which we have to mention, right? We have to mention the weakness of the healing, which is if you are having a low amount of troops for archers, because we are speaking about archer mains, healing might be a problem for you, right? Because, well, whenever you are getting healed, basically you are putting more troops in your hospital. But if you have no problems regarding troops, you have a quite a good amount of main troop type troops in your arsenal. Also, maybe you have a good hospital with a lot of elixir production and capacity villages, and maybe you saved a lot of elixirs throughout your KVK, then I believe healing won't gonna be a problem. But if you are a tier 4 player with like 500-600k tier 4 archers and you're gonna go for the full healing gameplay, unfortunately it means that you don't have enough troops to fully access the benefits of healing for your gameplay. So basically, you have to have a lot of troops in order to utilize healing, or at least have a good amount of elixir production per day, because that's what's gonna happen whenever you are getting a lot of heals in open field PvP. Your hospital is getting maxed out pretty fast. So basically, that's the solution for the problem for counterattack damage towards your archers from the infantry. But of course, we also mentioned one more important aspect, which is blink artifacts for infantry players, right? Of course, whenever they are equipping blink artifacts, it means that they are a little bit squishy because they don't have defensive stats from the blink artifact, but what they can do is that they can basically teleport inside this area, like here, and it will be super hard for you to actually move away, right? My advice would be, There have been a lot of times when infantry actually blinked inside the circle. What you can do, if you are able to predict that infantry is rushing and they are going to blink, just put your cursor opposite towards that blinked infantry and you are just going to move through the infantry, right? I have done it a million times. Of course, if you are using 5 marches, you can actually send 1 march towards that infantry and other 4 march you will be able to escape, right? Of course, this doesn't really happen always, but I would say 50% of the time when infantry is blinking on top of my head and I will move my mouse direction to a different direction to infantry, you are actually escaping. That's the small trick which you can do, especially against infantry players who are having blinks. Of course, if like 3 or 5 infantry players are going to blink on top of your head, that's almost impossible to escape. But we are speaking about 1 infantry blink. There is a possibility that if you're gonna be fast enough and you're just gonna move towards a different direction from that blinking infantry, there is a high chance that you are going to survive. And of course, if there is a chance of survivability during that period, I will share it, and that's the reason I told you that there is a possibility that you can basically run away when infantry is on top of your head. And since we mentioned march speed, even during that period, march speed will be really crucial, because faster you're gonna move away, faster you will be feeling safe and you will start dealing damage towards that 1 infantry. So basically, these are the problems which all the archer players are having in terms of infantry strengths, and more infantry troops we are getting, they have either high march speed or they are having a lot of counterattack damage. G5 infantry is not the super tankiest, but they are the most damage dealing hero pair in the infantry section, and they are actually really tough to defeat. That's why I think it was important for me to speak about anti-infantry gameplay from the archer mains. Hopefully you're gonna test out my strategy, because that's how I have been playing this game, as an archer main with a high march speed, with more defensive stats and defensive gameplay, because I believe if you are archer player, you always prefer to stay alive longer rather than go for the more offensive gameplay. I believe archer gameplay is more defensive. If you are going to rush in and try to deal too much damage, you won't gonna have enough range, you won't gonna have enough defensive stats, and plus, if you are trying to be more offensive, it means you did not really go for the march speed build, you went for more offensive build, and it will be impossible for you to actually generate 100 or 200k merits. So my advice, try out more defensive gameplay as an archer player, get high march speed, get some healing, maybe not on every single archer hero, but at least get advanced chain strike on your archer war pets. It will help you a lot, right? And yeah, I hope you're gonna try out this style which I have been playing for more than 3 years, and if you will, share your opinion regarding that. As always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody an amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really soon. Bye bye and good luck.